What do you think about pit bulls? What's an annoying thing people base their entire personality around? What is something you find really cringe? A disastrous engagement during someone else's wedding. Yeah, if I'm getting married and like the best man proposes at my wedding, hell to pay, I tell you that. It's not gonna be a pretty sight. My mind randomly replaying an embarrassing moment I've done that I want to forget. Recording yourself crying on social media. Listening to my recorded voice. That's why I don't do it. I click play and when I'm done recording and I make sure that there's no background noise or anything, and I'm like, cool, we're good. I can't do this. Celebrity worship will always be cringy to me. What's a mispronunciation that sends you into fits of rage? My coworker keeps saying asterisk instead of asterisk. It drives me insane. I had a boss once who would always call it a physical year. It took me longer than I care to admit to realize that she meant fiscal year. It's amazing how much more sense my job made after that. I went on one date with a fellow who said the 16th chapel. He took me to a Thai restaurant. I try not to get worked up about mispronunciations, but I had a manager who said perbatim instead of verbatim, and I winced every time she said it. When people say especially instead of especially, my wife says mannerism, like aneurysm, and I think she's gonna cause me to have one. Going to try that on my wife. Hope to report back. You wake up as a 40-year-old person, and you have a wife or husband and 3 kids. What do you say? I'm 40 with 3 kids. I'm sure I'd say what I do every morning. Do I have to go to work today? I'm going to Moe's. I'm just gonna go get some milk. Maybe at the gas station, maybe some cigarettes. This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. Why can't I have no kids and 3 money? Men of Reddit. What are women not ready to hear? Anything at a frequency beyond 20 hertz. This morning, I informed my wife that our daughter's car needs new brakes and has a leaky power steering pump. She was not ready to hear that. That dude that cheated on you earlier this year isn't gonna wake up and change tomorrow. If you start talking about your problems, we need to know if you want us to just listen or if you want advice. If something is wrong or broken, my first instinct is to try and help fix it. Why is that we've been ready to go for an hour and a half now? My free time is not by default my partner's time. Yes, you put on weight. No, I don't really care. You still look good to me, but yes, you put on weight. What are teens today not ready to hear? Things will likely take significantly longer to achieve than you think. Condoms are for STDs too, even though there are other ways to avoid pregnancy. Just because it's new to you doesn't mean it's new. As you get older, you just keep realizing how dumb you were last year. That's well past your teens, dude. I look back at last year and I'm like, why? Why, Mason? Not everybody can be an internet sensation. Somebody has to drive the dump truck. Not me though. I'm built different. One day, you too will be old and uncool, and it'll happen faster than you think. School has a system in place to keep you from falling behind. Life doesn't. What is a subtle sign someone is not a good person? When they see someone else's progress or success as a threat. All their exes are crazy and nothing negative is ever their fault. They believe that respect is earned but demanded immediately from you, not owning up to their mistakes and always attributing it to someone or something else. They share private information about others with you. Littering. It's not a violent act or anything, but it does indicate a lack of respect that usually carries into other aspects of that person's life. Casual, unnecessary lying. People have read it who regularly consume alcohol. Why do you do it? You treat an outside wound with rubbing alcohol. You treat an inside wound with drinking alcohol. It's science. I'll take the manufactured happy brain chemicals where I can get them. Alcohol is God's apology for making us self-aware. I like being drunk more than I like being old, so I'm willing to trade fun for time. I'm a chemist. Alcohol is a solution. I get bored in the shower. You drink in the shower? What screams trashy parents? Mothers who see their daughters as competition. Social media influencers whose entire content is their children. People who publicly punish their kids online. Parents who give out way too many details about their children, giving them lack of privacy. Child exploitation at its finest. Kids running around a store trashing the place and not apparent insight. Cussing out the officials at a little league game. Telling your child to punch another player they tripped over. When their kids could literally set the world on fire and they'll blame anyone else to avoid responsibility. Changing your kid's diaper in a Walmart parking lot and throwing the diaper full of on the ground for someone else to deal with. When I worked at Target, I saw someone place a full diaper full of in the flowers, like where you get bouquets of flowers. They just put it in a bouquet of flowers, and I saw it happen. And I was a cart attendant, so that was my job to clean it up. And oh my god, did I throw up after that? It was horrible. Non-picky eaters, what won't you eat? People, eyes, like what the Hakarl, fermented shark from Iceland, octopus or squid that's still moving, whole Edible insects. I will eat cricket powder and food, but I can't stomach the thought of eating a whole mealworm or ant or something like that. Intestines. I'd like to add that I've tried them and they were awful to me. Black licorice. What is the worst question you've ever been asked? When will you get better? A fairly common question I get when talking about myself. I'm chronically ill. I won't get better. Why aren't you normal? Forgot to take my normal pills today. I'm sorry. A step-parent asked me that multiple times when I was 12. I was just a bit clumsy and shy. What's those on your face? Acne. Why did you let yourself go? It's a real shame. When I was 22 by a 60-something woman I worked with. Why don't you have kids? What are the biggest scams that people are still falling for? There are hot singles looking for you in your area. Work online for 2 to 3 hours daily and earn $50K per month. Dating and romance scams still cannot understand why they send money, then more and more to the person they've never met, who is a doctor in some war-torn county trying to get out, or a CIA operative who needs the funds to ensure their safety, or again, to get out of a war-torn country. Weight loss products. Not saying it's impossible, but most, if not all, are scams. That influencers actually like or even use the product they're talking about. The ridiculous prices for glasses. You can't convince me that the lenses are that expensive to manufacture these days. I guarantee you they're not. It's not expensive. What is one profession that you have absolutely zero respect for? Timeshare salespeople. Knew a guy who worked for a company that sold social media bots and other means of boosting accounts. Whatever that job is, I hate it. Predatory tow companies. Televangelists. Give me tons of money and God will reward you. Oh, no rewards yet? That's because you haven't given enough yet. Poachers. Call center scammers. People really have a full 9-to-5 job, dialing random phone numbers to steal money. Fucking losers. Nothing gives me more satisfaction than watching people scam call center scammers. Oh, it's like a blessing every time I see one on my TikTok For You page or on YouTube. Woo! It's so good. What's something that is incredibly unhealthy that most people don't even realize? Loneliness. Chronic lack of sleep or sleep deprivation. Sitting for long periods. Both unhealthy and as you get older, dangerous. A whole lot of name brand fruit juices have a lot more sugar than folks like to pay attention to. Don't get me started, man. I've been trying to do zero sugar juice, like cranberry juice. Oh, so much sugar, man. It's all of it. All of it's gross. Not having any friends or family to rely on is bad for your mental health. What are you addicted to? I'm addicted to collecting things. I spend so much money on things I don't need, like Pokemon plushes and vinyl records and art. The internet, coffee. Guys, can you guys say in the comments if you like coffee or not? Because I personally am not a fan of coffee, and I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I just like to hear everyone's stance. Not being bored. Phone. It's because you're always on that damn phone. Coca-Cola. Getting p***ed off for no reason. I thought it said getting p***ed on for no reason, and I was like, well, you're addicted to that. I'm not king shaming, man. I'm not king shaming. Probably work, which isn't bad, but probably not healthy either. What kind of profession was once highly respected, but is now a complete joke? Bank teller used to be a foot in the door to the finance industry, but it's basically 20-year-old credit card salesmen. Politician, but the joke is not funny at all. Chiropractor. A blacksmith. Way back, I imagine it was the to be the guy with making all the weapons. Nowadays, most people don't see the talent required and just see it as a weird hobby. The milkman. It used to be a way to earn an honest living. Now he's only used to convey other person's mom's promiscuity. Priest. Police officer. There's 2.5 million ants for every human. How would you fight your 2.5 million? Flamethrower. Hot air balloon, then flamethrower. What do you need the hot air balloon for? The ants, like, unless they're all fire ants, they're not gonna hurt you, bud. My fists. If you can't beat them, join them. This guy's just gonna become an ant. What? How? Like animorphs? Nuke them. It's the only way to be sure. Plus some highly radioactive rocks for some extra spice. Maybe even pour liquid nitrogen on the suckers. That's just overkill. Come on. A really big magnifying glass. What TV show had the best theme song? DuckTales. Woo. Malcolm in the Middle. X-Men, the animated series. Oh, this is the one. Pink Panther theme song is one of the most iconic ever, I think. Game of Thrones. Tom and Jerry, fight me. What song annoys you every time you hear it? My name is Chicky. That stupid Liberty Mutual jingle, if that counts. It's better than Geico, all right? I'd rather hear Liberty, 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 Liberty than see that fucking gecko again. You know? The one I put in my alarm. The Applebee's song. Fancy like. All about that bass for me. It's not even that I hate the lyrics, but whoever designed the instrumental completely forgot to add any sort of bass to the song at all. Pisses me off more than anything. How do you feel about self-checkout registers? Unexpected item in the bagging area. Please wait for attendant. As long as they don't require assistance every 5 seconds, they're great. Accuses me of thievery every 5 seconds. I mean, yeah, I'm stealing, but don't put me on blast. Needs more bagging area. They're convenient when you're trying not to purchase alcohol alcohol. What was fucking awesome as a kid, but sucks as an adult? Getting letters. I wanted to get letters as a child, but now I'm happier when I don't see them. Now it's always someone who wants my money. Waking up in another place than you fell asleep. Spinning in circles. I try to do that now holding my little one, and I do about 2 spins before I'm lightheaded and dizzy as a drunk. Losing a tooth. Having no job. Eating large quantities of candy in a single sitting. The thought of being an adult or growing up. How would teenagers realistically misuse magic at Hogwarts? The young ones would probably cast itching or tickling spells on each other, making students good at deflecting spells. As they get older, probably experiment on enlarging things or other beauty attempts like clearing acne, turning water into rum. Every year there's a different boy who ends up in the infirmary after using Engorgio on his and feigning from the rush of blood. After reading these, I think there would be a big market on putting a parental lock on certain spells on wands bought for kids. You saw that when James Potter suspended Snape in the air for no reason? Bullying would be 100 times worse. Furries. Oh no, a cat hair got in my polyjuice potion again. It's the small things in life that make you happy. So what small thing makes you happy? The sound of rain hitting the roof while I'm all cozy in bed. When my cat makes that little sound when she wakes up. Garlic bread. Taking a shower and getting into bed with fresh sheets after a long day. What is the dumbest thing people actually thought is real? That fake ad for Apple phones getting the capability to charge via microwaving. Bunch of people put their iPhones in the microwaves and fried them. That sharing those posts on Facebook means they actually have a chance of winning a 5-star luxury getaway. That posting, I will not allow Facebook to sell my photos, yada yada, on Facebook somehow makes their terms of service invalid. Those wristbands that give you energy. Yeah, sure. In the same way that I got nothing. JFK Jr. being alive is one of the more idiotic things I've seen recently. Beanie Babies as an investment strategy. That if you ask an undercover cop if they're a cop, they're required to answer honestly. What is the first thing you do when you get a sore throat? Swallow 10,000 times in a row just to be sure. Yeah, on the 10,000th swallow, you actually feels much better. That's what she said. Reminisce on all the times I didn't have a sore throat and didn't appreciate it more. Mourn, for I know the fever will cometh next. Swallow a dozen times and drink water a dozen times, then just kind of wait it out. Complain like a true Gen Zer, like me. Beg for the sweet release of death. People who like having conversations with random people, why? It's fun to seize a fleeting funny moment with another person if you don't know anyone there at the time. You can have casual, meaningless, relaxing, and brief conversations with random people that would otherwise seem low effort and lame with friends. I figure I have something I can learn from everyone I encounter, even if it's how I don't want to be. I've made a lot of friends this way. Also, the ability to talk to anyone, anywhere is a superpower. You learn so much. It upsets me that people don't see the value of it. Even if they judge you, it really doesn't matter, because in the end, they're a random person and probably gonna forget about it. It's called normal social interaction, and a lot of people on here should try it sometime. What needs to stop being romanticized? Being overwhelmed and overworked. Drug and alcohol addiction. Mental disorders and obsession. Cartels. Seriously, Netflix and Hulu, El Chapo is a mass murderer. Violence, it's never quite the same in real life as it is in the movies. War. What is considered attractive but has no appeal to you? Materialism. Too much flashy stuff does nothing for me. Social media status. Filtered photos unless it's for a joke, but it doesn't fool anyone and just advertises vanity and lack of confidence. TikTok trends. Never interested in them, and I found it harder to talk to some people. Instagram models. Tell that to Adam Levine of Maroon 5. Holy fucking f***. That body of yours is absurd. Fucking nerd. If you had a real lightsaber, what's the first thing you would do with it? Probably accidentally remove a limb or a digit. Charge it for a minimum of 24 hours using only the supplied charger cable. The only right answer is to swing in whilst going vroom with your mouth, only to remember it's a reel and does it itself. Accidentally kill myself. Ruin my chances of getting the security deposit back. The only thing you can do with it. I cut some bread while toasting it at the same time. Finally get to those hedges the wife has been bugging me about. What do we still find joy in as adults that we did as children? Swings. It was my favorite playground equipment. 30-something years later, it still is. Petting cats and dogs. Gaming. I love gaming. Hot chocolate on a snowy day. Dinosaurs it is for me. Profile picture checks out. If you could get rid of one thing permanently, anything in this world, what would it be? Child marriage. Mosquitoes. Human trafficking. Cancer. Asshole boss. You're gonna be selfish like that? You're gonna choose your asshole boss over something like child trafficking and cancer? War. What is something you say to scammers instead of hanging up? I used to answer the phone as if I thought it was a scammer, would be like, Frankie, thank you for calling Frankie's Pizza. This is Frankie. Would you like the hot and spicy? And then they'd usually hang up. Hey, hello. Oh, hey, can you hold on? Someone's at the door. Put the phone down and see how long they stay on. Record is 17 minutes. I play along as long as I can. I have Windows VM set up and I trail them them along as much as possible. The longer they waste their time on me, the less time they have to scam someone's grandpa out of their life savings. I tell them I'm with Microsoft support and ask if they need tech support. I asked one if his mother knew he scammed people for a living, that she would be ashamed, that he was bringing dishonor on his mother and his ancestors. He hung up and didn't call back. Yeah, make it personal, yes. That's how you do it. Are you interested in duct cleaning? No, I'm homeless. Homeless? Yes. He hangs up. Another time, same thing except he replies, I'll take you home with me. Huh? When my daughter was learning to talk on the phone, I used to put it on speakerphone and let her talk. Highly recommended. I play on high volume. Yeah, nothing scarier when you're trying to scam somebody and you hear boom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, psh, and then you hang up because you're like, oh, I know what that is. Because we all do. What is something that's considered normal for a man to do, but if a woman does it, then they receive backlash? Grow a mustache. Pee standing up. Take their shirt off. Have hairy underarms. Go bald. Fart. That's a trick question, actually. Girls don't fart. It's not true. They don't fart. What's an annoying thing people base their entire personality around? Name brands. People that take pride in being a bitch or an asshole purposely because they think it makes them tough. An obnoxious movie character they idolize. Social media. Their IQ levels. Anyway, did you know that I have an IQ of 127? Einstein only had an IQ of crypto. What do you think about pit bulls? Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. Illegal to own one where I live. One killed my cat. I still miss Zoe. Not a fan. Attacked by one, but escaped unscathed. Scary for sure. I think their owners want to project some sense of toughness. Give the best lives possible to the ones that are alive, but sterilize them all. More don't have to exist. I think breeding pit bulls should be illegal. People want one that's born and alive, whatever, but I think the breed's ability to breed should be controlled and restricted until it no longer exists. One killed my 3-year-old cousin. Family dog. I would never have one. What's a trade secret you know from working the industry? If you call a call center of any kind and the person you're talking to puts you on hold with no hold music, they can hear everything that you're saying. I worked in an insurance call center when I was really young. I had so many people accidentally confess to insurance fraud that way. Vinegar is the best thing to get your cutlery shiny in a restaurant or bar. As a freelance photographer, most magazines and newspapers don't pay you for using your photos. They offer you photo credit only. If you ask to be paid, they'll just get a similar photo from someone else. Having a crew that can pass a drug test is not the same as having a drug-free crew. On any piece of machinery, if the welds you see look like the welds you don't see are even worse. And that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.